Hi everyone. If I haven't lost you yet, I think it's going to work this time. Not sure where my brain is this morning, but anyway, I'll do a better job at showing you how to inventory your closet. Here we go. I'm going to flip the phone. Okay. All right. This wonderful thing, I don't know. Here we go. Let's see if it's going to come on here in a second. There we are. And it looks like I'm moving at regular speed. I can see a few comments, so if you are here, if you are crazy enough to stick around for 5 takes, let me know if you can hear me. So anyway, let's get started. Today we're going to talk about how to inventory your closet, and the reason that this is so important is because without this information, it is really difficult to set your closet up in the right way. You can make it look really pretty and all of that stuff, but if you don't know what you're trying to hold in there, it's not going to be as good as it could be. So I promise to make this super simple. It's 5 steps. If you had a chance to download the worksheet from my Facebook page, that'll help you follow along. But otherwise, all you really need is a piece of paper and a pencil. And like I said, I'm going to make this super simple. And I just want to say one more thing about that. There's so many details in a closet, but really when it comes down to it, if we're talking about a clothes closet, we're generally talking about hanging clothes, folded clothes, and sometimes shoes. Some people don't put any shoes in their closet, and some people have 100 pairs of shoes in their closet, which again is why you need to know what you're trying to hold, because that'll make a really big difference in how you're going to design the closet. So keep this simple. When I'm talking about measuring, when I'm talking about counting, don't feel like you have to get specific to the nth degree. An inch here, an inch there, 6 inches here, 6 inches there. It's not going to matter in the overall scheme of things. So make this simple. If you've got a large closet, you should still be able to get this done in 5-10 minutes. Of course, you guys already know I have a very small closet, and so it won't take us long at all, but I'm going to try to talk you through some of the things that you might see in your closet. At the end, I'm going to talk about volunteers that I need, so stick with me. You might get yourself a closet design out of the deal. Okay, so the first thing, I've broken this down into 5 pretty simple steps. The first thing that you're going to do is separate your hanging clothes into 3 different categories, and those are short clothes, which are generally shirts, blouses, jackets, that kind of thing. Mid-hanging clothes, which are pants hung from the cuff, skirts, long sweaters fall into that category. What else do I have here? Sometimes suits that are in suit bags fall into that category. But it's not the same as long hanging, which is generally a full from shoulder to floor length item. So like a gown or a wedding dress, sometimes people keep in their closets. Those types of things. The summer dresses, the knit summer dresses, those are usually fairly long. Some people recommend putting those over a hanger to make them shorter, but if you've got them hung long, that would be your 3rd category. So short, mid, and long would be up here. So kind of sort of just put those together if you don't already have them together. Most of the time when I go into closets, people kind of sort of have those in general areas together, so it's not that difficult. And if you have a few things mixed in, that's okay. Again, don't make this more difficult than it needs to be. We're trying to get a general idea of what you need. Okay, so once you've got those separated, then you're going to measure your clothes. So how you do that, and I'm going to move back over this way. How you do that is you just take your tape measure and you hold it from one end to the other. Now you can see in this case, I don't have this bottom one full. It's really only full about to here. My closet is so small that that part doesn't matter. But if you've got a whole long run of rod and you're only using half of it for hanging clothes, only measure half of it. Don't measure the whole thing. Just measure where you have the clothes. So I'm going to measure this bottom part, and this is about 16 inches. So I'm going to write down on my worksheet or on my piece of paper under short hanging 16 inches. And then I'm going to go back and measure this section. And this section is 24 inches. So I'm going to write down 24. And in this closet, that's all the short hanging that I have. So you're probably going to have more than this. Just keep adding the numbers together for whatever you have for short hanging. Then, once you're done with that, you want to go to your mid hanging and measure that. And so this is 22 inches. And so I'm going to write down 22 inches. I would say, you know, most people, at least 24 inches of this is good. Most people don't have this if they don't have a custom closet, and so they don't know the great thing that they're missing out on. But if you have items that are this length, you really don't want to put them in a rod that's way up here. You're wasting a whole lot of space by doing that. So measure this out. I would say give yourself a minimum of 24 inches. Another thing I want to talk about is we're not counting items. Counting items really doesn't do you a whole lot of good because everything takes up a different amount of space. If I had nothing but tank tops hanging here, I'd probably have 50 tank tops, or maybe more, whatever. A lot more than dresses and suit bags and pants hung by the cuff and that kind of stuff. So just measure the space that it's taking up. For designing the closets, that's going to give you a lot better information. Okay, so the third thing, then once you've got your short and your mid measured, then you want to measure your long hanging. For most people, that's a very small amount. But if you've got a dressing room, or if you're somebody that goes to a lot of galas, that type of thing, you might have a lot of long hanging. So keep those three separate. Measure the length across, the rod that the clothes are taking up, and jot those numbers down. So that is step 1 and 2 we're done with already. On to step 3 is counting your stacks of folded clothes. So right here is a stack of clothes. I've got 3 sweatshirts there. That's one stack. This stack is another one. Even though I'm using bins, I'm still going to count this as a stack. I've got, jeans folded in these. So if I didn't have a bin, I would have a stack of folded jeans here. So the way that you would count this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stacks. And then just go ahead and write that number down on your piece of paper. So I'm just, not analyzing anything. I'm just writing down how many stacks. And right now, for under stacks, we're really talking about folded clothes. This step is not talking about purses, luggage, miscellaneous boxes of things that you might have, storage items, linens, all that kind of stuff. Really, we're just counting stacks of folded clothes. Okay, so you got that done? Now we are on to shoes. And I apologize, I was going to bring some shoes in here. I don't store shoes in my closet, but basically, I can show you with my shoes. This I would consider a mid-height shoe. If you have slippers or very small, these are flat shoes. And then of course there's tall boots or taller shoes. And sometimes boots are, 15 inches tall, sometimes they're 18. Booties are generally, more like 7 or 8 inches tall, and then you've got your flats. Break it into 3 general categories just to give yourself, an idea. This is going to help when you decide, number 1, priorities. How many shoes do you want in your closet? Number 2, what spacing do you need for the shelves? If you're going to be putting in flat shoe shelves, which I recommend for people that don't have a huge closet and tons of space, because they're more versatile and you can change that height and you don't have to use any more height on that shelf than what your shoe actually takes up. So that's the reason why we're breaking this into 3 different heights of shoes. So again, just simply count those shoes, jot down that number, and you're done with your shoes. I skipped step 4 because I think this can be the most confusing one. I want you again to keep it really super simple. This is miscellaneous stuff. So if you've got a top shelf in your closet and it doesn't necessarily have clothes on it, it's got purses, it's got off-season clothes maybe, it's got camera equipment, it's got luggage, it's got whatever it is, just measure the length of that shelf. For now, that's all we want to know is how long is that shelf. We don't need to go into too much detail about what's on it. I don't think you guys can see the top of this closet, but in any closet there is a shelf generally at the top, and sometimes that gets full of stuff. Ted's got 1 stack of clothes up there, so I maybe should have counted that as 7 because it is clothes, but otherwise just measure the full length. So in this case it would be, this is, you just take your tape, go all the way across the closet. This one's 48 inches, you just write down 48 inches. If yours is 72 inches, write down 72 inches. You might have that throughout the closet in different areas, so you can jot that down as well. Whatever shelf space you're taking up for miscellaneous items. Okay, so in a very simple form, that's how you do your closet inventory. And we're going to use this information to go on to figure out how to design your closet so that it holds your things the way it needs to be held. Thank you so much for being here. I apologize for taking 5 tries, but I hope you got some good information. It doesn't probably seem that important yet, but as we move forward to measuring the closet and then laying out the closet, this is really going to be really important information for you. I need some volunteers. My closets are too small to continue to show, and I don't think it really is helping as many people because you can't see like a true closet that hasn't already, really been kind of laid out. So if anyone is in the Minneapolis area, would allow me to come into their home and kind of do one of these lives and measure a few things, I'd be happy to do that. I would love to do that. I think it would help a lot of people see how easy it can be and, not make it so difficult. And then from there, I will design a closet for you. And whatever you decide to do with that design is totally up to you, but at least you'll get that out of allowing me to come into your home and do some measuring. So just private message me through Facebook if you'd like to volunteer to do that. I hope you all enjoy your Sunday. Again, I'm Kelly Levine. Thank you so much for being here. Take care.